Most people think blood sugar problems start with a number. They wake up, grab the glucose meter, check fasting glucose, and only then decide whether something is wrong. But your body doesn't work that way. Long before you ever see a number on a screen, your body is already communicating. It sends signals, quiet ones, easy to ignore ones, and for many adults over 45, these signals appear every single morning, before eating anything, before checking glucose, before coffee. That's why so many people feel confused. They don't understand why high morning blood sugar feels like it comes out of nowhere. The truth is, it doesn't. Your body usually warns you first. If you wake up tired, struggle with fasting glucose, or often see high blood sugar before breakfast, subscribe to the channel. Everything here is focused on helping you understand and fix morning blood sugar, because that's where metabolic problems often begin. In this video, we're going to learn the 3 most common morning signals that often appear before a high blood sugar reading shows up. Not symptoms you feel after eating. Not problems caused by breakfast. Signals that happen the moment you wake up. And once you learn to recognize them, morning blood sugar stops feeling random. Why the body signals before the number blood sugar is not just chemistry. It's communication. Your brain, your nervous system, your hormones, your liver, they are constantly exchanging information. And when glucose regulation starts to struggle, the body doesn't stay silent, especially in the morning. Why the morning? Because that is when no food is involved, habits are minimal, the body shows its baseline state. That is why fasting glucose is such a powerful signal. And that's also why how you feel when you wake up often predicts what your blood sugar will look like, even before you measure it. Let's talk about the first signal. Signal number 1, waking up tired even after sleeping. This is the most ignored signal of all. You slept 7 or 8 hours. You went to bed on time. You didn't stay up all night. Yet you wake up feeling heavy, drained, foggy. Unrefreshed, many people immediately blame age, stress, sleep quality, motivation, but waking up tired before eating anything is often one of the earliest signs of morning blood sugar imbalance. Here's why. Energy doesn't come from sugar in the blood. Energy comes from sugar inside your cells. When insulin sensitivity is reduced, which is extremely common after age 45, glucose has a harder time entering cells. So even if blood sugar is high, your cells are starving for energy. That's why muscles feel weak, the brain feels slow, fatigue hits. Immediately you're not tired because you slept poorly. You're tired because your cells didn't receive usable energy overnight. And this often shows up before you ever see a high fasting glucose number. Why this signal appears in the morning overnight? Your body relies heavily on glucose released by the liver. As morning approaches, hormones rise to prepare you to wake up. These hormones tell the liver to release glucose. If insulin sensitivity is reduced, glucose stays in the bloodstream cells. Dawn at absorb it efficiently, energy production suffers, so you wake up with high blood sugar, low cellular energy. That mismatch is why waking up tired is such a powerful predictive signal, and yet most people ignore it. Signal number 2, morning thirst that doesn't make sense. This one confuses people even more. You wake up with dry mouth, thick saliva, strong thirst, so you drink water, sometimes a lot of it, but the thirst often comes back. This isn't just dehydration. When glucose stays elevated in the bloodstream, it pulls water out of your cells. This creates a subtle fluid imbalance at the cellular level. So even if you drink water, your cells may still feel dry. Thirst doesn't fully resolve fatigue often. Remains. That's why morning thirst often appears alongside high fasting glucose. And here is the key point. Morning thirst often shows up before people ever measure high blood sugar. It's another early warning signal. Why this thirst happens before breakfast? No food is involved yet. No sugar has been eaten. No carbs have entered the system. Which means this thirst is not caused by breakfast. It's caused by what happened overnight. This is why so many people feel confused. I haven't eaten anything yet. Why do I feel like this? Because the imbalance didn't start in the morning. The morning simply reveals it. Signal number 3, mental fog, irritability, or emotional flatness. This is the signal people rarely connect to blood sugar. You wake up and feel mentally slow, unfocused, easily irritated, emotionally. Flat, you might not feel sad. You just don't feel sharp.
The brain is one of the most glucose-dependent organs in the body. When glucose cannot enter brain cells efficiently, focus drops, processing slows, mood regulation,
becomes unstable, that SY. Small things feel overwhelming, patience feels low, motivation feels forced, and again, this often happens before breakfast. Which means it's not caused by food, it's caused by glucose not reaching the brain efficiently. Why these three signals appear together? These signals are not random. They usually cluster together because they all come from the same root issue: reduced cellular glucose availability in the morning. Muscles feel weak, fatigue, brain feels underfueled, fog and irritability. Cells lose water, thirst, and all of it happens before eating. That's why these signals are so valuable. They predict what the glucose meter will say. Why most people miss these warnings. Modern advice trains people to focus only on numbers. Check glucose, check A1C, wait for diagnosis. But the body speaks first. And when you ignore the signals, problems progress silently, frustration grows, confusion increases. People say, "I don't understand. My blood sugar is suddenly high." It wasn't sudden. The signals were there. How this connects to morning blood. Sugar, if you experience waking up tired, morning thirst, mental fog, or irritability, there is a high chance your morning blood sugar is already elevated, even if you haven't checked it yet. That's why fasting glucose often feels stubborn. That's why people feel like they're doing everything right, but still struggle. The problem isn't effort, it's timing and physiology. Transition to the next video, important. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Many people notice these signals, but when they look at their lab results, especially A1C, they're told everything is normal. And that creates a dangerous disconnect. In the next video, we're going to talk about why your morning blood sugar can be worse than your A1C and why this specific pattern is often overlooked, even by doctors. Because sometimes, the most important information isn't in the average, it's in the morning. If you wake up tired, thirsty, foggy, or already feel off before breakfast, your body is not failing you. It's warning you. Morning blood sugar doesn't start with a number. It starts with signals. Most people don't realize this, but your body rarely surprises you. It warns you first. Long before a glucose meter shows a high number, your body sends subtle signals that something is off, especially in the morning. And this is where many people get confused. They think if my blood sugar is high, the first sign should be the number. But that's not how human biology works. Your body always communicates through sensations before data. That's why these morning signals matter so much. Let's start with the most common one: waking up tired, even after a full night of sleep. This isn't about sleep quantity. It's about energy delivery. While you sleep, your liver releases glucose into the bloodstream to keep your brain and organs alive. That's normal. But if insulin sensitivity is reduced, which becomes more common after age 45, that glucose doesn't enter your cells efficiently. So you wake up with glucose in the blood but low energy inside. The cells that SY you feel, heavy, unmotivated, mentally slow, drained before the day even starts. Your body is saying, there is fuel available, but I can't use it properly. That's not a motivation problem. It's a metabolic signal. The second signal is morning thirst. Many people assume this is just dehydration, but there's something deeper happening. When glucose stays elevated in the bloodstream, it pulls water out of your cells. This creates a subtle but real fluid imbalance. So you wake up with dry mouth, thick saliva, strong thirst, sometimes even a slight headache, and here's the key point. Drinking more water doesn't always fix it, because the issue isn't at a lack of water. It's where the water is being pulled from. Your body is saying blood sugar is high enough to disrupt cellular balance. This often happens before hunger shows up. That's why thirst can be an early warning sign. The third signal is mental. You wake up feeling foggy, easily irritated, impatient, emotionally flat, or anxious. This isn't mood, it's energy distribution. Your brain is one of the most glucose-dependent organs in the body, but again, energy doesn't come from sugar in the blood. It comes from sugar inside the cells. When glucose can't enter brain cells efficiently, you feel mentally slow, unfocused, emotionally unstable. That's why many people say, I need coffee just to feel normal. Coffee doesn't fix the cause. It stimulates around the problem. Here's the critical insight most people miss. Your nervous system feels imbalanced before your glucose meter measures it, because symptoms are real-time feedback. Numbers are delayed data. That's why these signals often appear before a diagnosis, before labs look abnormal, before doctors raise concerns. The body whispers before it shouts. If you've watched other videos on this channel, you might notice a pattern. We talk about waking up tired, morning thirst, blood sugar rising overnight, hormones peaking before wake up, fasting glucose being stubborn. They are not separate problems. They are different expressions of the same morning imbalance. And this is why the morning matters so much. Because the morning shows what happened overnight, how your body handled energy, whether glucose reached your cells. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Many people assume that if their A1C looks normal, everything must be fine. But what if the problem is time-specific? What if it happens overnight, peaks in the morning, and then partially resolves? That's exactly what we'll talk about next. Because the morning can reveal things that averages hide. If you wake up tired, thirsty, or mentally slow before breakfast, your body may already be signaling a morning blood sugar imbalance even before you check a number. And understanding those signals is the first step toward changing what happens next.